Thank you, Mr. Tanmay. This is Siddharth Deshmukh here, and I'm the moderator for the next session with a, a great speaker that we have. So I would just request, before I give the introduction, I would just request our IT team to play a small intro video.
Maximize your get optimized your get naturalized, exercise, let your life get Mickey Mice, Mickey Mice, Mickey Mice, Mickey Mice, Mickey Mehta's your workouts.
The global leading holistic health guru, भारत में इक्विपमेंट फ्री ट्रेनिंग के अग्रदूत, 24 घंटों में स्विमिंग सिखाने के विश्व रिकॉर्ड होल्डर, भारतीय टेलीविजन और रेडियो पर वेलनेस को लाने वाले पहले शख्स, वेलनेस जॉनर में सोशल मीडिया की बादशाह, होलिस्टिक हेल्थ कैटेगरी में विकिपीडिया पर आने वाले एकमात्र एशियन जिन्होंने ट्रेन किया है बॉलीवुड के सितारों को, बड़े बड़े रईसों को, जाने माने नेताओं को और मुंबई पुलिस को, जिन्होंने भारत को कई मिस वर्ल्ड और मिस यूनिवर्स दिए, भारत के सबसे बड़े होलिस्टिक हेल्थ पोर्टल के संचालक, an author, a philosopher, an institution, the brand, the dream life coach, the legendary Mickey Mehta.
Thank you, and this is wonderful. So I'm the introduction which I'm going to talk about Dr. Mickey Mehta is already been shown to you in a gist, but as a moderator, I'll just give a quick introduction. Dr. Mickey Mehta completed 50 years of yoga on 29th August 2020 when he actually stepped into his 59th year. He has been in the industry for 40 years, serving this holistic development. Dr. Mickey Mehta is a global leading holistic health guru and a corporate life coach to Bollywood superstar, top politician, India Inc., and several Miss Worlds and Miss Universes. He has also trained police, army, navy, and air force personnel. An honorary doctorate in holistic health and life sciences from Open International University for complementary medicine is what Dr. Mehta possesses. Dr. Mickey Mehta was awarded the Health and Wellness Icon Award for India by Economic Times and among the 100 most impactful wellness leaders in the world, announced at the Global Wellness Conclave 2018. Dr. Mickey Mehta is a recipient of Fit and Fab Global Spa Award 2019 as a pioneer of holistic health and wellness in India. Wokat Foundation recently felicitated Dr. Mehta for his commendable work during the lockdown as a Corona warrior. He is an author of the bestseller of Shunyam Quotient and Lose Weight, Gain Shape. He's been a speaker at multiple universities like Harvard, MIT, IITs, and holistic health workshop, delivering holistic health workshop across the globe. Recently appointed as a Fit India Movement champion by the Sports Authority of India. He has his shows on Hotstar, Tata Sky, Airtel, DTH, which are really big hits. Every morning, India wakes up to 94.3 Radio 1 and get Mickey Mice. The author, the poet, philosopher, the brand, the institution, the legendary Dr. Mickey Mehta, who gets you energized, neutralized, optimized, maximized, wellness revolutionized, and he's here with us to get you Mickey Mice. Welcome, Dr. Mickey Mehta.
That's naturalized, not neutralized.
I'm sorry. I saw so many.
So we can say negativity neutralized.
Great.
You're talking about mind, so negativity neutralized.
Great. So Dr. Mehta, it's great to have you here. And with looking at time and using your time well for all the participants, I just want to have a nice discussion with you about the well-being, holistic well-being, and the mental health. So, Dr. Mehta, my first question to you is: every generation or era has got their distinct problems, and as everybody goes through, my parents have seen that, or my grandparents have seen that, or my kids are seeing that. But why that we get to see a man is having more and more disturbed than even before in the current era right now, be COVID, without COVID?
Yeah, because I think disappointment is the biggest curse of this generation. Expectations are too high. The speed of life is exceptionally fast. Instant gratification is what is wanted by everybody. There is no patience. And where there is no patience, there is, people are jittery, they're temperamental, irritable. So obviously, When you're not at ease, when there is no equanimity, when there is no composure, obviously the mind is disturbed because there is pull and push, constant pull and push. If you were to take life straight 100 years back, 120 years back, where there were no TVs, no phones, no radios, life was calm, collected, people knew how to laugh, people knew how to be, and people knew how to mingle with nature and be in abundant in the lap of nature. They could breathe easy. They knew how to recreate with people, with connections, with empathy, sympathy. So sympathy, empathy quotient is getting less. The practicality and pragmatic way of life is getting more. Life has become transactional, completely transactional. I mean, even children with their parents are very negotiating always, constantly negotiating. If you don't incentivize, things don't work. So now what has happened is that because of media, because of glamour, because of TV, because of radio, everything is beckoning, life is beckoning. There's constant attraction, there are constant illusions. So there is food, there is glamour, there are watches, there are cars, there are perfumes, everything that draws a man out of the center towards the circumference. And on the circumference, you're constantly moving. When a person is meditating, the person is centered. When a person is sitting across a river, lake, ocean, the person is centered. When the person is sitting in the abundant lawns, gardens, trees, amidst chirping of the birds, bright sun, person gets centered because there's a shift in your consciousness, there is a shift in breathing. The breathing becomes rhythmic and you get centered. But on the periphery, where there's a chase maze, constantly breathing is erratic, life is temperamental, everything is disturbing, disappointing, and yes, nobody is at peace, nobody is happy. So the minds are in pieces. So our five senses, our five horses, are pulling us in various directions. So the mind is scattered. Now, when you internalize all the five senses and make it one common sense, when you come together, that is the time mind is at ease. Otherwise, it is at dis-ease. So let's
Okay.
understand the primary dis-ease comes from the scattered mind itself.
Interesting.
Okay? So this is causes disorder, but shutting your eyes, letting the breath settle, letting the breath come into rhythm, and letting the breath come into flow and get it synchronized with the functions of the body,
Mhm.
the house comes in order.
Wow.
So this is disorder, disorientation, malfunction, decay, death. But if you reverse and if you see Ashta Angas of yoga, which today are scientifically completely validated, so Yama Niyama, Asana Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dhyana, Dharana, Samadhi, do's, don'ts, discipline, dincharya, postures, postures in poetry, asanas, breathing, disciplined breath, regulated life, Pratyahara, internalization of senses, Dhyana, Dharana, Samadhi, focus, attention, awareness,
Mhm.
and then dissolving. So that counters the forces of entropy. Entropy is by like standards of science, it is understood as that the forces, the universal tendencies breaking into disorderliness from orderliness. So life by default is bliss. By birth, you are bliss. But by the influences of the environment and the upbringing of the society and the community living, this bliss is destroyed.
Okay.
So the default setting as the compass points to the north, the default setting of the human being is towards equanimity, bliss, calm, composure. Extraneous external forces disturb you and they bring about the disorder and disease.
Interesting. I think you just put in a very right word, or very simple words for people to understand is what it means, how we are born with, and how do we actually complicate our own situation. And that is what it is the result that we have right now. And just taking the cue from what you spoke, even the statistics, like 1 in 8 adults in India, sorry, globally, are seeking mental health assistance. And if you add kids to it, it is actually growing more and more. The percentage is pretty high, and it is alarming. So what is your, in your opinion, what is this? Is it a lifestyle related or lifestyle created issue?
There is a lag and there is a lack, both. So the lag is in the upbringing now. The parents themselves are so busy. I'll give you a very typical example of a kid. At 6:30, typically, a kid is drawn out of bed, literally pulled out. So the kid is getting pulled out. Then, you know, clothes removed, put on the pot, brush in the mouth, shower in the hand, and hardly that's done. And the kid is out. And then he's wearing clothes and somebody's feeding him, somebody is making him wear the socks. In exactly 35 to 40 minutes, the kid is in the school bus. Now see the mental stress and the pressure cooker life here. Now let us go back a little bit in the night. Today's child is sleeping at 11:30, 12, as opposed to the child 100 years back was sleeping by 8:39, because the parents and the family also slept at that time. Today, the parents and the family cannot let go of the social devices, of the social media, of the television Sasbahu operas, of the OTT platforms. So there is noise, there is light, there is disturbance. But this is all the disturbance we are conditioned to. So the child by default sleeps at 12, gets barely 6 to 6.5 hours of sleep. Goes to the school without having gone through the bowel and the bladder movement well. And what does the child eat? Cornflakes, things from the boxes. The child does not get a healthy breakfast. The child does not get a proper fruit because there's no time to eat fruit, because there's no time to cook a proper meal. And the child is in the school bus and the child is absolutely drowsy. So first of all, the whole circadian rhythm is disturbed because lack of sleep. Obviously, the child is not breathing easy. Obviously, the child is constricted, tired, exhausted. So there are no oxygen levels inside. The 5 lobes of the lungs are not filled with oxygen. The performance of the child in school is very poor, but the demand for the child is very high. All right, and then the child is then pushed from one class to the other, from one music class to the sports class, to tutorials, to remedials, and by the time the child comes home, the child is half dead. The weight on the child's back and the weight on the child's mind. There is no liberty. So earlier days, the children grew well. They were taller children, broader children. They grew well. You see today, you see an average child is shrinking, not growing. The children earlier used to have beaches, gardens, parks, outside. They used to go outside, play, challenge their lungs, challenge the body. Recreation used to happen. There was fun factor. There was growth factor. And that child, after recreating, was good enough to study. And the burden of the study was not too much. And the pressure of performance wasn't there. So the system has made the child sick. The child is in a constant, perennial, perpetual state of dis-ease and pressured from all sides. The child only knows the concrete walls, maybe the bedroom, the den, the study, or straight go to the school, classrooms, laboratories. So between home and school, the child spends 12, 14 hours. Is the openness where the child can breathe easy. It is said that, I mean, when I do psychotherapies and counseling, I take people outside and I make it very informal. So first of all, when the person, when the subject is out in the nature, immediately stepping out of the four walls, your body breathes automatically, because whenever the body senses abundant oxygen, it will take a deep breath subconsciously, second nature. And no sooner after the first deep breath, the breathing falls into rhythm. Otherwise, the breathing is scattered and staggered. Because of the running, there's no rhythm. See, when you exercise, the rhythm comes. When you play a game, the rhythm comes. When you sing a song, the rhythm comes. When you're laughing, recreating, chilling, the rhythm comes back. Right. Or when you're in the laps of nature. So when you're smelling something beautiful, flowers, the rhythm comes back. Okay, your feel-good hormones are released, dopamine, endorphins, okay, oxytocin,
Okay.
all right, serotonin. These feel-good hormones are released with breathing, exercise, smelling good fragrance, listening to great sounds, looking at the visuals of the expanse of the sky. Literally, the body shifts from scattered, staggered breathing to deep breathing, from shallow breathing to deep breathing. Simply listening to nice things, looking at lovely things. So these stimulants are the best medicines. I tell people have breath as breakfast. Make your children go to the balcony, go to the windows, let them take sunshine, let the sun hit the pineal gland. Let the pineal gland then become the progenitor of serotonin. Let the sun hit the skin and more energy comes out. Energy is directly commensurate with enthusiasm. Why the children have lack of enthusiasm? Because there's no energy, there's no sunshine, there's no energy in food, there's no energy from the environment, there's no energy reservoirs built in the sleep, and there is no energy coming out of cheer, joy, enthusiasm. Everybody is stuck in their own clocks and box of life.
So I think, I think you put it again as you put it pretty well and simple about the openness, the energy that required for the well-being, which is the physical well-being related to mental well-being. I think that is the topic that we are talking about. But in the current situation, which has been there for last year, and we anticipate for some more time, is work from home, study from home, entertainment at fingertips. So there's a lot of screen time at every level which is happening. Even though we are speaking on the on this conference, we can't go out and get those energy, can't get that sunrise or that sun rays to our body. So there are a lot of restrictions in the current situation. At the same time, while we're talking about a lot of devices and screen time which affect the attention span, there is social media which is also impacting on the level of instant gratification, which you mentioned sometime earlier. So how do you think these things are actually impacting? I'm still want to go with the mental well-being before I move to before our discussion move to the physical well-being or holistic, the pure holistic, the mental well-being. How do you think the instant gratification of social media and too much of screen time is actually impacting? And we see that is going to be part of lifestyle with work from home, study from home, and all those things. So what do you have to say about that?
Let me tell you, the compulsion of doing something depletes a man's energy. In the work from home, a man is caged, tied up. I know of people, they can't get off from the laptop. Even to go to the loo, there is so much of pressure. I mean, if they were to go for the second time, they feel very uncomfortable. Oh my God. Okay, so this has been reported to me. Number two, let me just go back to the what is new normal. New normal is nothing but old normal. A few hundred years back, people studied at home, they learned and grew at home. There was the environment at home was very comfortable. It is very different than the environment at home has three television sets, four laptops, six mobile phones, and the device, the interruption of the device and taking you away and sapping your energy. 80% of the energy expenditure of our physical being happens to the ocular muscles. It really takes a great energy to keep your eyes open. Why certain times you just can't keep your eyes open? Drivers who've been driving for 12, 14 hours, you've been on the laptop or reading a lot, simply because those muscles are tired and they just want to give way. Now, that is not the point we need to push our bodies to. We should eat submaximal, we should work submaximal, because you take it to the point of depletion, you're not going to recover good enough. So, A, do a fast. So, I mean, recently I saw a video on langams, which means fasting from food, fasting from water, fasting from activity, and fasting from devices we should bring in. It's a very healthy practices in many families that shut your mobile, keep it away, sit together, eat, talk, laugh, at least for 1 hour of the day. That 1 hour which you get will refresh you, reset you, recreate you for the next 24 hours. So this spacing it out is very important. In English, we say, let the penny drop. Okay, space it out. I need space. You know, the modern people say, I need space. Space is to bring order back. Space is to reorient you. Space is to bring you back from dis-ease to ease. So I would tell people that in this lockdown, time yourself so well that sleep early, wake up early, so that you go through the dincharya, the day, with ease, like knife through butter, like air through open spaces, so that there is no pull and push. The pull and push, your yin and yang are completely disturbed. Balance is disturbed. And irritability, temperament, lack of focus, poor concentration becomes the order of the day, order of the life. Headaches, body aches, disturbed sleep, lack of rejuvenation, lack of cellular regeneration, hastened aging processes. Can you imagine? Medicines will keep you alive, but the life force will make you look very old. So what we need to do is we need to stabilize ourselves first, collect ourselves, pause, walk backwards, undo. Only human beings can walk backwards. Animals can't. So we have the ability to retract, walk backwards, correct ourselves, and align ourselves. And no sooner you start taking the cosmic nutrition, loads of sunshine in the morning, loads of fresh air, deep breathing, and just be collected. Those moments in the morning will charge your battery for the whole day. And as many times, now I'm coming to the lockdown situation, as many times you can get up from your chair and step out, go to the window, go to your balcony. Every society ought to have some tree. Make that your connect point. Make that your point to teleport into imagination of vastness of energy. So once again, any window and any door of opening will open up your mind again. From a restricted thinking being to an open, dynamic, and fluid being. An open mind is open to all possibilities. Constricted, restricted mind is always more negatively oriented. You look at a child who's not conditioned negatively, you ask a child anything, the child will never say no. The child learns to say no looking at the societal conditioning, parents, and everything put together.
So, Dr. Mehta, is it something like the circadian wellness, which is called, right? It is like setting the body with time. So, with you don't have disconnect between when you get up, you go to office, you get ready, go to. There's a process, and that process is getting broken right now. It's like because the size of the houses, your desk is also in the same bedroom where you're sleeping, and there's no disconnect which is happening. So, is the circadian the wellness is actually getting disturbed here?
So the circadian wellness is actually being timeless, not time bound.
Okay.
Because when you're time bound, there is stress. The pull and push is of the time. So in our Hindu philosophy, time means Kal. Kal means death. Kal means history. Time will make you history, time will kill you. Time is running. But same thing in our Vedic Shastra, timelessness, bliss, ananda. When time is not ticking in your mind, when the awareness of time is not there, you're centered. When you're centered, there is no awareness of time. You are in the flow, you are in the rhythm. You will be synchronized with the clocks of the universe. But the pressure of the running time is not there. The beauty. There is spontaneity, there is intelligence. So timelessness is the way forward.
Okay.
Being aware of it, but not being captive in it. So your circadian rhythm ought to get synchronized with sunrise, sunset, your sleep rhythm, your sleep cycle. So 96 minutes before sunrise is Brahma Muhurat, where the purest form of oxygen begins to emanate from trees. Birds begin to chirp. Strobes of light, they pervade and permeate your being. The finest, purest energy is available at that time. We've forgotten. We don't know what it is like. Forget that 6:37 is also now impossible. People don't know what a sunrise is. People don't know what a sunset looks like. People don't know what a full moon looks like. And sky full of stars look like. Vast, expanse, eternal. Brings so much of confidence, brings so much of hope. So despair is, replaced by hope. Fear is replaced by faith. Okay, confusion is replaced by clarity. Should you do all these things? Stop, pause, breathe, smell, look, lie down, stop doing, start being. See the way your hormones change. Harmony of Hormones is the book I'm writing, and it's purely for mind science. And this is why I say mind is medicine, or mind is a monster which will kill you. It is the Dudhari Talwar. So if your mind is organized by just letting it fall in place and letting it collect and orchestrate by being timeless,
Right.
then mind becomes medicine. Because
Excellent.
watching your life like a drashta and not getting attached to the things that are happening and the outcome of it. Because then comes anxiety of it. Then comes the disappointments. Then comes the fear. Then comes the phobia. Then comes the despair. And then that is the time your body gets into constriction because cortisol is flowing. All the fight and flight hormones are being secreted. And when they are secreted, they shut down the vital organs and they push blood to the periphery. Okay?
Right.
And in that fight and flight mode, you're constricted. The energy is constricted. And your body is in a hyper mode, depletion of energy. So a normal human being is today going through this syndrome. Now, can you imagine? Simply stop, simply pause. Only as you stop and pause and shut your eyes, your breath will come in rhythm. There will be a shift in your consciousness and there'll be a shift in your rhythmic breath. Scattered will become rhythmic.
Right.
Because only rhythm of breath is good enough to orient your body completely well in mind.
Yeah, and I think that is the right breathing, and it has been always called as the mantra to wellness. The holistic wellness also is knowing your own breath.
Yeah.
It's something that when you understand, when you are probably doing deep sea diving and in the water at the bottom of the sea, then you understand the importance of the breath that you have,
Significance of
and
breath.
otherwise we take it for granted.
Yeah.
So on from the mental side of it, just wanted to understand one more aspect. A lot of students are there, and we have people who are in this work. We have seen a lot of students are struggling from depression, and what we have seen is a lot of physical activity like sport or recreation has actually helped them come out of the depression. So can you tell me can you tell us how does a recreation or a physical activity or a sport actually helps in mental well-being?
So the simple thing which I use with children whenever I counsel children for their mind, for their body, for their growth, for their evolution, studies, focus, memory. So I tell the parents get into laughters, break down your day into singing, dancing, tickle your children, hug your children. Now that connection will bring about a state of enthusiasm, state of joy. Even a laughter opens up your diaphragm, moves it 12, 13 centimeters if you're laughing fullest. And the movement of your diaphragm will make your lungs empty all the 5 liters of carbon dioxide and refill them with all the 5 liters of oxygen. Now, this itself is a release from disease. Now, this release of laughter, this release of dance, jumping, bouncing, and this release of singing. Now, singing itself is breathing out. And in between, you breathe in, and your mind is happy in the state of joy and bliss. Once again, Ananda, Paramananda. And that is the time you have the best secretion of the hormones. Then, optimal efficacy, your central nervous system, okay, your sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system, they come alive. There is no stress and burden on it. They free up. Children get uninhibited. So we have to take them through the phases of letting go, letting be, letting go. And of course, once everything opens up, nothing like a basketball game, nothing like running, nothing like catching coke, nothing like simply sitting, nothing like swimming and cycling.
Okay, so I think this is getting really interesting, and when we know that you have worked with so many athletes, Bollywood stars, or Miss Worlds and Miss Universe, and everybody is fighting their own battle at different stage, and for the performance or the way they want to be, and this impacts the overall well-being. So people putting themselves through a shock treatment of getting some transformations. So how does that physical activity actually impacts the mental state at that level?
So I'll tell you short bursts of energy, short bursts of activity. even for 8-10 minutes, will change the landscape of your lethargic body. Because your body gets into the state of lethargy, slowing down. See, mind is fast, but the body is inactive. So you need to give the jump start to your body to circulate, to breathe, to open up your lungs, for your respiratory tract to vibrate. Okay, for your nose to become active, breath going in, breath coming out, and most importantly, circulate in a way that blood reaches out to all cells, to your extremities, and to your core, and to your organs. Now, that is a very subconscious feel good factor. So breaking into a game, breaking into a sport, breaking into singing, dancing is a very good therapy. But a passive way of doing it is make people smell oranges, eat oranges,
Yeah.
pomegranate juice. So give them fructose. It's a passive way of doing it. Give them
Okay.
dates, raisins. Okay. Give them a good shot of herbal tea. So that mild natural caffeine shot also will uplift temporarily. So free radicals are taken care of. Antioxidants go inside through food. You can do it through sunshine, take them out in the open and connect with humans. Connect with humans. Connect. Give your children so much attention, so much love. Keep a physical proximity. Keep that empathy, compassion, everything on. And if the empathy, compassion factor is on, the levels of stress will dissolve. And the level of being wanted, paid attention to, nourished with attention, nourished with care, enthuses, motivates, and inspires children. There's a different kind of energy. Touch, feel, empathy, sympathy, compassion, great amount of oxytocin comes out. And all other supportive hormones, great feel good factor. If the child is on an emotional high, it's very difficult for a child to get depressed. So keep your children on emotional highs always. Keep them upbeat. Give them faith. Give them confidence. Give them self conviction. Tell them the stories about the legends. Inspire them. Ask them to, dream their purpose, identify what they want to do, identify their talent. But don't put a gun on their head. You can talk to them, but don't push them into. You should be like a potter. Parents should be like potters, just touching the soft clay from outside and allowing that pot to take a shape. Being there, watching. There is transformation in watching. See them with love. Don't push them in the direction they don't want to go. Don't make them do too many things they can't handle. Otherwise, their growth will be restricted, constricted. Today's children are tomorrow's champions, heroes, leaders, visionaries. Every child is born with a genetic signature. Every child is born with a genetic imprint which is waiting for it to unfold. The flower and the fruit in every child is waiting to get fragrant and waiting to become sweet. Allow it to happen. Don't push it the other way.
Interesting. I think that sums it up pretty well about the overall holistic development that we're talking about from physical to mental. So while we want people to go out, and this is taking a cue from one of the questions from people, it's while we want people to go out with the restriction that we have currently that we can't, and that's a problem, actual practical problem. So in this stage, what are the simple things that people can do sitting at home, which really gives them a feel good factor and feel good about themselves and what they have in front of them the whole day?
So, stress is a constriction of the body and a constriction of the mind. Stress is the restricted movement of the body and the stumbling blocks in your mind. The simple things open up, stretch. Stretching is the simplest stretch to let go stress. So there is physical stress. As you open up your physical body, your mind begins to open up also. As the blood begins to flow and your body becomes agile, your mind becomes agile in attitude. It becomes more optimistic. Otherwise, it's very negatively oriented. A pressured mind, a tired body is always life negative. A happy body, happy mind is life affirmative. They are more yes to everything. So instead of you asking why, you will ask why not. So Tadasan is a great stretch. And coming down and trying to touch your toes gently, of course. Don't push yourself. Is a great stretch. Then breaking your lower back and stretching behind is a great stretch. Trying to suspend yourself and hang from somewhere is a great stretch. Sitting on the floor or on the bed and trying to do Paschimottanasana, gently trying to touch your toes, open up the hamstrings, open up the lumbar, and opening up of the spine is a great stretch. Relaxing your head a little bit and just left to right to left, stimulate your carotid. That's nice. Shavasana is very important. Yoga Nidra. So if you do combination of these things, automatically the body will flow, the body will get into rhythm. You will be able to beat and dissolve. Forget the word beat, it is aggressive, it's not allowed in yoga. Your stress will be dissolved. So in Vedic science we say, Manushya man ka mara. Man ka mara, Manushya. Purak wo jo prakruti se purak hota hai. Who's complete with nature, complete in nature. और वही पुरुष उत्तम होता है और शायद वही पुरुषोत्तम राम होता है. So then we know the whole thing. Then Shiva's first statement, Yatha Pinde Tatha Brahmande, as is the micro, so is the macro. So as you, so is the universe. Then Tattvamasi, this is that is this, and this is all with this. Everything is just the same and just so perfect the way it is. Aham Brahmasmi. So I am the creator, I am the doer, I am the maintainer. So and if I am everything, and if I am doing everything that brings about change, why can't I do it with full consciousness, full awareness, and be the choreographer of my own change? You should tell the children, there's nobody sitting up there and writing your destiny. You have legs to walk towards it, hands to make it, mind to perceive it, heart to believe it, and a spirit to achieve it. Be the co-creator of your own destiny. Make them think independently, make them individuals, take them away from societal conditioning, give them liberation, give them freedom, make them think out of the box, make them live out of the circle.
Excellent. And Dr. Mehta, I think there is a small video that we're going to play after this, but last 25-30 minutes, you were true to the statement that we got Mickey Mized. And it was wonderful to talk to you. And I would just request the video to be played.
One last thing.
Yes, sir.
Remember, Krishna, Christ, Muhammad, Mahadev, Zarathustra, Buddha were all human beings in seed form. They blossomed, they flowered, and they fruited, and they became gods. You and me can become gods, and moreover, our children can be grown into gods. Only a man can rise above gods or fall below animals. Man has a right to choose, not just think about how to win and how to lose.
Wow, wonderful. And again, as I said, it is the statement is emphasized about that. Okay, we got Mickey Mouse. So thank you for this. And can we just have this video to end the session?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, boogie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, boogie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, boogie. Boogie, boogie, boogie all night long, yeah. Woo! Boogie, boogie, boogie all night long. Get Mickey Mouse.
Thank you, Dr. Mehta. I think all the stretches we got to see is going to help us.
This was done some 10-12 years back. So,
but I think the
but
energy.
I still can do them all. I still can do them all.
That is important. At the end of the day, that is important. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Siddharth. Thank you so much, ambassadors. Rajiv, Vidya, I'm very grateful. Empower, thank you so very much. They're doing a fantabulous job. So Nirja Birla's Empower and Ananya Birla, they are the brains and the heart and the soul behind it. Thank you so much for doing so much for mankind. I'm very grateful to you. So my last thing is, let wellness be the religion number 1. Join Dr. Mickey Mehta's Wellness Revolution for human evolution. Let this world be a disease-free world. For strong biceps, uplift the poor. For strong shoulders, take the responsibilities of the underprivileged. For strong legs, be rooted in humility to be better footed in humanity. Sleep every night with the wish to heal yourself. Wake up every morning with a promise to heal the world. And then we will get energized, naturalized, maximized, optimized, internalized, eternalized, evolutionized, revolutionized, specialized into wellness, initialized, all negativity of the minds neutralized, get Mickey-mized.
Thank you, and wonderful talking to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. It was truly, we are ending on a very, very positive, energetic, rejuvenating note. Thank you so much for, sharing your very practical, very applicable tips today. I think it's definitely going to help our youth incorporate them. Thank you so much.
Thank you
once again.
so
From
much.
on behalf of Symbiosis Center for Emotional Wellbeing as well as Empower, I'm truly grateful and honored to have you, Dr. Mehta, your precious time for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.